Did that wake you guys up? Yeah! Did that wake you guys up? Yeah! So much better. You guys are here for the Titan panel, yeah? Yeah! Okay, so just a little disclaimer before we all introduce ourselves. We're going to be talking about anime spoilers, not manga spoilers. Okay?
Yeah.
Can we get a yes?
I don't know. Yes.
All right.
I don't know any anime spoilers, so I'm not going to talk at all. Yeah, awesome.
Well, let's start with you. Who are you on the far left?
Who am I? My name's David Matranga, and I play Bertholdt.
Yeah. I'm Bryce Papenbrook, and I play Eren Jaeger.
My name is Glass, and I play Petra.
I'm Lauren Landa, and I play Annie Leonhardt.
So,
okay.
I think let's just keep this super laid back. Like, even though it's a Titan panel, we can open it up to questions about anything, about us, about voice acting, about any other shows we've worked on, and yeah, let's just have some fun. We'll just open it up right away.
For most of it, it's our last panel here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's our last panel.
It's kind of,
so.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna be all right.
So I kind of did this yesterday. I like start on one side and then just work my way over.
That's a good idea.
Why don't we just start right there?
Yes, I have two questions. The first one is to Bryce. We didn't get to hear this one yesterday at the Attack on Titan watch session. I would like to hear some dating advice from Kirito.
So I think I mentioned Kirito probably wouldn't give good dating advice because it's so easy for him. Because the rule is all ladies love Kirito. So he probably wouldn't give good dating advice. He just walks into a room and he has a harem.
Juggling advice.
So he'd be like, what do you mean advice?
Yeah.
The second one is for all of you together. Okay, so I just want to hear if you could replace one of your characters, like let's say here, let's say Bertholdt was replaced by Orphan in Attack on Titan.
So take one of our other characters
That's awesome.
and switch them into
Yeah.
Titan.
I want to hear like what it would be like. Okay, so let's say Bertholdt was switched with Orphan. Eren was switched with Asbel.
Asbel, okay.
Petra was switched with Satellizer.
That's what I was gonna say.
And Annie was switched with Lychee. What would that be like for all of them?
That'd be really weird. I don't see that. I actually see more of Kyoko in the Attack on Titan world because she's more of a fighter. Lychee's a fighter too, but like I don't know. I think maybe since Kyoko has magical powers, it actually could be a bit different. So that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, for me, that would be, Orphan is completely opposite of Bertholdt. I mean, Orphan's a leader, he's like in people's faces, he's confident, he's cocky. Bertholdt is, or at least right now. Yeah, but that's a funny exercise, I don't know.
I think Asbel could kill the Titans with the power of friendship. and he would just be talking about protecting everyone. Has anyone seen, there's like, someone took every single time I said protect in Tales of Grace's F, which is like 1,000 times, and they spliced it together. So it's just like protect, 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 protect.
Whoa, they have a lot of time on their hands. I think Satellizer Bridget from Freezing maybe actually belongs in Titan more than she belongs in her own show. Seriously, I mean, she's so hardcore, and also she's extremely modest, so I think she would love the fact she's in this uniform, she's completely covered, and every day her job is just to, like, protect people, kill Titans, and forget about dressing up in skimpy clothes and having to be in stupid, like, beauty pageants and boys and all. Just, like, she would much rather just have a mission and do that. So I think she would fare very well. Though I don't know how all of the other male soldiers would get any work done, because they would probably be, like, drooling over her all the time. So there's that problem. I don't know.
Competition.
Yeah. Cool question.
Yes, right there.
What is your favorite experience you've
My favorite experience is making Mike McFarlane, the director and also the voice of John Kirstein, squirm in his seat after I did the Annie laugh. That was really funny. That was my favorite moment.
I haven't had a ton of, I didn't have a ton of recording time, so that scene was or those couple of scenes they weren't easy to do actually. They were so nuanced and there had to be so much in it. And at the time, I didn't really know why. And I still don't fully know, but it was an interesting experience. We had to really work on we did several takes just to get the nuanced kind of what is going on with this guy, what is he not saying, where is he? So it was challenging, but that's the kind of work that we love to do, you know? That would be mine.
I'm gonna kind of cheat. The entire experience was pretty amazing for me. It was my first time working at Funimation, my first time being in Dallas, so it was pretty exciting. The commute was so different than what I'm used to. I had to get on a plane and fly to work. That was awesome. And I think actually seeing the reaction from people after the show was done and just seeing how massive of a hit the show was and the reaction to it from all the fans was just so cool. I was not expecting it. I knew it was going to be big and the show was really, really cool. I didn't expect it to be this big. So it was cool.
Yeah, I think similar to David's answer, Petra is like this force in the show, this character that means a lot, that people get attached to. But altogether, I recorded somewhere between 4 and 6 hours. It was maybe one session and then a session of pickups. So I can't really say a lot about the recording experience, but like Bryce has said, it's after the fact. It's hanging out with the fans, it's seeing what the show means to them, it's particular panels and moments that we share with one another. But I think what makes being in Titan for me pretty special, this is my 12th year dubbing anime stuff, but this show really stands out to me because Mike McFarlane really reached out to all of the different areas that he could to get kind of an all-star cast from all over the place. Generally, out in LA, I don't live there, so I'm not really going to be in their shows. They don't reach out to us the same way, and it's not in a mean way. That's just how it works out there. So the fact that I get to be in a show with Lauren, and I've known her for 10 years, and but I've never acted with her before, so she kills me, you jerk.
Sorry, not sorry.
Cool. And David, he's done stuff at Funimation, but I hadn't done anything. Right. We haven't all been in the same show, and it's pretty cool that I get to. So.
It's kind of cool because when something is a hit like that, and in the aftermath when we get to experience it, it sort of bonds us together too. And it's really true that Mike reached out to a bunch of different people and different areas, and you kind of feel, I remember when he called me and he was kind of like, hey man, so I don't know what this role is going to be. It's not huge at the beginning. We don't know, but are you up for it? And I'm like, yeah, dude. So it just feels like you're a part of something special, which it doesn't, sometimes work is work and it doesn't always feel that way. So it's awesome when it does.
You actually just reminded me of a story that I tell whenever we have a Titan panel. Caitlin and Bryce have heard this story so many times, so I apologize.
Okay, I'm going to text while you... Just joking, just kidding.
That actually can be kind of a question that we can all lead into on the auditioning process and all of that and how we got into it and all that. But what happened with me was, Bryce and I live in LA, and so when I got an email from Mike McFarlane saying, hey, so here's an audition for Attack on Titan, I hadn't seen the show at the time. It had been out for, I think, about a year and a half, something like that. I hadn't seen it, but I had heard about it all over the place, and I kept saying, what is this show, Attack on Titan? I don't even know what that is. And I didn't even know that it was an anime show until I got the audition for it. So I was like, oh, I kept hearing about it all over the place, but So I ended up reading for, I think, Mikasa, Hanji, Sasha, Krista, Annie, and Armin, because Armin is played by a woman in the Japanese, the original Japanese.
I'm going to interrupt. She had the advantage of getting to read for more characters because she's out of town. When you don't live there and they send you the sides, you're at your leisure to just record as many of them as you like. But when you live there, you only have 15 minutes. So out of all the females that I could, I had to choose just 3.
It's funny because I only live, 200 miles away, and I have that advantage too because I'm not in Dallas.
Right. So when I sent in the auditions, and then a few days later, I get a call from Mike McFarland. I can't talk today, you guys, I'm sorry. Mike McFarland gives me a call, and this never really happens. Like, most of the time, you'll get an email from the studio saying, hey, you've been cast as this, or hey, you've been cast in this, like, come in, and, you don't even know who you are half the time until you get into the studio. So Mike calls me, and I figure, okay, he's either calling me because I got it or I didn't get it. And most of the time, directors don't even do that. They don't call you to tell you that you didn't get a role, but because the show was so big, I don't know what they were going to do with it. So I pick up the phone, and I say, hi, Mike, what's going on? And I just hear this, hi, what you doing? I'm just like, oh, just out driving around, what's up? He's like, do you have a minute? I said, yeah, sure. And he said, well, the casting directors decided that they want to cast you as Annie in Titan. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's awesome. I hadn't seen the show. So he says, there's a pause on the other line, and he's just like, have you seen the show? Do you know anything about it? And I said, no, I don't know anything. I just know that it's really big. And I hear this sigh on the other end, like, okay, Here's the thing about Annie. She starts off as a side character, but she gets bigger later.
No pun intended.
But of course, I hadn't seen the show, so I didn't get that. So my reaction was, I don't care, that's totally fine. I'm just excited to be a part of it. Let's schedule it. And he's like, okay, so blah, blah, blah. And then I fly out to Texas, and we record the first couple episodes. And he says, if you want to watch this, you can, but only watch until episode 13, because past episode 13, that's when spoilers start to happen and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, sure, shouldn't be too hard. So I go home, and I start with episode 1, obviously, and I'm immediately hooked, and I get to episode 13, and I'm texting Mike and Josh Greeley, who's the voice of Armin, and I'm telling them, you guys, I don't think I can stop. I need to keep going. And Mike's just like, you know what? You should continue to watch the whole thing because you're getting the same reaction that the audience is getting right now. So go ahead. And when it got to the big reveal, I was like, what? So then
Really, you had zero clue? Like, did you even wonder?
No. Because I honestly thought because she was such a small character and she was barely in it and she disappears for like, I don't know how many episodes, I figured, well, that's it for Annie. Maybe she'll come in like in a battle or something later to help, the military or whatever. No. So, I don't know, like when I first saw, again, as we said, we're going to talk about anime spoilers. When I first saw that the female Titan, I thought, honestly, that it was Krista. I thought it was Krista at first. Because she's the one that appears in the field with the horses, okay? It made sense at the time. But then I saw the second opening, and I'm like, why would they feature Annie? I'm so confused. And so when it came, I was like, oh my God! Yeah, I freaked out. I was tickled pink over the whole thing. So sorry, that was a long story.
Cool. Another question?
Yeah. How about right here? Sure.
The one for all of you. In the courtroom scene, we all know that, well, pretty sure almost all of us know, that Levy beats the crap out of Eren.
Yes. Oh, you mean Levi?
Yeah, Levi.
So, in that courtroom scene, how many minutes do you think that it would have taken Levi to kill Eren if he hadn't stopped?
Wow.
Probably not much longer. When I recorded that, I imagined Matthew Mercer's foot going down my throat. And this noise that came out of me was the weirdest thing I've ever done. It was like I was swallowing his foot. I mean, it was like, oh! I've never made that noise before.
Wow.
It's really funny to imagine that because Matt is like one of the sweetest and most gentle people in the world. And then he beats the crap out of Eren, and it's like, oh, well, I don't know why that scene is very interesting, but yeah.
It's really weird when you know the people, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, wow.
It's like, I don't want to mess with you, man.
Yeah.
And you had a second one that was just for Bryce?
Bryce, you were the voice of both Nagi Sokomaira and Matranga in Danganronpa.
Yes.
Because, well, we all know that there's certain jokes in the series. For example, every time you look at a trash can, it's Maya.
Okay.
Have you know, if you ever picked up any of the jokes that were in the games, which one was your favorite?
You know, when we're recording the games, we only see a very small piece of the puzzle. Our lines, even though I had a number of lines as both those characters, it's in between a lot of text. So it doesn't really make sense to us as we're recording the majority of the time. So I just have to trust the director and kind of deliver a line based on what they say. So a lot of those inside jokes that you would have to read, you know, all the text with have just gone over my head.
It's very bizarre recording for video games, the things that you know and get to know and what you don't get to know. I feel really like, I don't have a clue what's going on right now.
You do have to trust a lot.
Yeah, especially if it's like a JRPG sort of game. There's so much story for practically every character, and the director just doesn't have time to explain to you all of that stuff when really it's just like, you're sad right now. And you go, okay, and you do it.
I feel bad when fans come up to me and they're like, do you remember this scene from this? And do you remember how you were, I'm just like, I'm sorry, I don't remember, because when we're recording video games, we're reading line after line after line.
And we don't even have a picture. Occasionally there'll be a picture for like the cut scenes, but like if it's action, if it's like battle within the game, nothing. We have zero visuals. Very different from anime where it's 100% visual all the time.
Yeah. But back to your question, someone came up and asked me, how was it like recording for the egg? And I'm like, what are you talking? Nagy, the egg. I don't know if that's one that you're talking about. They're all over my head. I don't know. Yeah.
I have a question for all of you and then one for just you guys.
Sure.
Do you all ship from Attack on Titan?
Okay, all right. First off, Tatum has an awesome answer to this question. Pretty much, you've heard his answer to this, right? His answer to this is, well, you know, it's mean, but it's funny. It's basically, well, I don't really think of who belongs with who when in the first episode his mother is getting eaten by a titan. And I'm kind of on the same page. It's hard for me to ship people because it's not that kind of show, and I usually do. Like for Oron, oh my God. Like shipping all over the place, but for Titan, I'm so focused on them trying to survive that I'm not really thinking about who belongs with who.
I have a good one. I always ship Derpy Titan and Santa Claus Titan.
But
they're meant to be together.
But as I said yesterday, and I figured, and I'm sad you weren't there, the shipping that I can imagine, honestly, is Petra and Levi.
Petra and Levi.
Yeah, I would say that's
I'm totally pro Petra and Levi because, and not just because I play Petra, and I know now even just from watching the show that I would feel the same if I were only a fan of it and not within it. Just like Tatum said it and Lauren repeated, it is this show about how are we going to survive, how are we going to live, and with all of that, that can get really heavy for an audience member, and it seems that the only little glimmer of anything kind of romantic, the only thing that gives you this sort of slight vision into what the future could be if they make it is the hope or the possibility of Petra and Levi. And that's why it's so devastating in the best kind of way, you know, that it will never be. And then you're like, oh, this show, I hate it. Next episode.
And that's the only touch of like I put romance around quotes very lightly because, you know, Levi obviously is not a romantic character, but it's clear that that Petra has deep feelings for Levi. So that's the only glimmer of it that you get in the show, as you said. So.
Well, there's a scene after with Petra's father. When he just starts opening up to Levi, and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
just like,
God.
oh.
Man, the weekend that the episode aired where the whole squad dies, Matt and I were together at a convention, and the very next day we had to like improvise a scene together on a panel about like a Petra confession to Levi, and it was brutal. It's on the internet, you can watch it. And on top of that, we saw some fabulous fan art at that con, and people were bringing it up to us like wedding pictures of them, but she's an angel. She's, you know, it's really depressing. And then there's one of Levi. Like, it's something that you never ever see in the show, but like him all beat up after that battle that comes shortly thereafter, just like in his room or his whatever, just like curled up in a ball in the corner. Yeah. And Matt's like, look at this, look. And I'm like, oh dear goodness.
Embrace the fields.
Yeah, embrace the fields. I have this bracelet. It's funny that you brought it up because I bought this super duper shippy Petra Levi bracelet.
Oh, adorable.
It's a Petra bracelet. It has like the scout symbol on it. It has a heart that says "Have faith" on it. It has another one that says Levi on it. And their little blades from their ODM gear. It's pretty
Awesome.
cool.
I was super excited. It's so difficult to get work in this industry that anytime you get a role, I mean, it's something to be excited about. But for Sword Art, I mean, I played the opening song probably 3,000 times on repeat. And I was just like, yes, yes, like so pumped up, like ready to record. Also, the crew I recorded with, I had just come off recording Blue Exorcist. So I was very comfortable with them, and I knew it was going to be a really fun time. So I was looking forward to it. I'll keep picking. So yeah, right there, straight ahead, and then we'll go here. Pacific Rim?
Haven't seen it.
I know the title, but yeah.
Yeah.
German word for husband.
Okay, so pick a co-pilot for your giant neck, basically. Levi.
Probably for me, honestly, I'm sorry, David, but Rhina, probably Rhina, because I think he and Annie would make a good team.
It's funny, I was gonna say that's who I should probably pick, but I don't know, I might pick Annie.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
I'd be split between Mikasa and Armin. I think Armin might be the better strategist.
Yeah.
Probably keep us alive. and also go,
Eren,
no!
Eren, wait! Eren, no! I swear, Bryce, that should be your alarm clock, man.
What you don't know is
should be
that Bryce
my
is
alarm.
actually the voice of both, and then, Josh, they just use his name.
No, but only these lines.
Eren! Eren, wait! Oh, baby Armin's so cute.
Right here.
Okay, two questions. One, will we ever be able to see what's in Eren's basement?
Gosh darn it.
Two, probably except for you, Lauren, because you already are this, but
Yeah.
how would you like to be magical girls?
Oh, I know, I saw you have a cube. Bryce has a funny story about it.
I'd love to be a magical girl.
Yeah.
But then we have to make a contract and all that stuff, and things are gonna go bad.
Yeah.
Do I get to like suddenly transform into like cute clothes like whenever?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down.
And sparkles appear behind you.
Yes.
It's such a creepy question to be like, are we ever gonna find out what's in your basement? You know? Like, I'm just gonna start asking people that. Like, hey man, how are you? What's in your basement?
I think it's Eren's dad, and he's just like watching anime and playing video games in his underwear.
Totally, and he hasn't left. I mean, there's like
He
empty
hasn't
whiskey
made-
bottles.
He has like like long, like ZZ Top beard going
Yeah.
on.
What took
you guys so long?
Yeah, there's just a haze of like body
Did you
odor.
bring any ramen? Like, it's really.
If Eren's dad ever comes back into the picture, do not say anything because I don't know what where the manga is right now. But if he comes back in the show, my first reaction would be like, if he saves Eren or something, my first reaction would be, "Oh, Dad, where the hell have you been?"
Thanks for turning me into a mutant titan person. Great, awesome.
Okay, we'll keep going over. So 1 and then Batman. Right here.
First question is, what's the relationship between Annie and her Titan form and Eren and his? Because I know that she had her at her younger age, and Eren only figured out just after his trials and stuff like that. So what's the deal with that?
What's the deal with that? That's something that the creator can answer, I think, because we don't know. We don't know anything. When we record these shows, like, Mike McFarlane, the director, I don't think even Mike knows everything about this show. So, and I know David has read, not the manga, but you read a little further.
I read a little further, but even then you don't really know what the inspiration for stuff is.
A lot of questions still need to be answered. I know that my theory on Annie is that I don't know what the relationship is between her and her Titan form, but I do know that she was obviously, as you said, she probably developed it or was trained to use it at a younger age, which is pretty clear that from a young age she was, I want to say the word bred, but she was trained to be a part of something. She was trained to be a part of some sort of mission, I believe. Obviously, we just don't know what that mission is yet. But I think I'm way more curious to know like how Eren's father was able to cause that to happen.
And what is his relationship to that mission? Like, that's the whole thing. And is this mission for good? Is it for, what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this show is a lot like Lost, where they give you an answer to a question, and that creates 2 questions. Right. So every single episode, you just have more questions that need to be answered.
And that's what keeps people watching.
Yeah.
Keeps everyone interested.
Yeah, the 10-second cliffhangers in every episode. What?
Yeah, you hit the table every time an episode ends. No!
Alright, I have 2 more questions.
Yeah, real quick.
Alright, the second question is, in the scene where they're in the forest and Eren's being talked by Annie and her Titan form, why is it that it takes so long to transform? Why doesn't he just do it knowing he could help when he just said that?
Oh, well, I think first off, he's nervous he's not going to be able to transform. And then
Because
also,
he hadn't been able to for a while.
I think
right?
that he was having trouble transforming. But also, the entire Levi squad is screaming at him, and I think it's some of my favorite
Petra
lines
stuff
that you
too,
deliver.
yeah.
They're just screaming at him to trust them and not transform. But I mean, eventually,
that's a
whenever
whole thing
he dies,
between
he
like his individuality and then being a part of a team. That's that whole theme of, should you go out on your own or trust the team?
Or put your life in the hands of your team, because he's never worked with them before, and yet they're all telling him, no, you can trust us. There is a reason you trust us. I don't remember who. I think I was on a panel with. I don't remember who I was on a panel with. But what I love about that squad is that they're under Levi, but Levi is under Erwin. And we don't know what has happened in their past, but something has happened between Levi and Erwin that makes Levi trust him no matter what the plan is.
No matter, even if he doesn't know.
Yeah, no matter if he doesn't know, but he doesn't tell his squad either, because his squad didn't know about that either, as far as I'm concerned. But they trust Levi.
He trusts Erwin, and that's just kind of...
It's awesome.
And Eren is having to kind of learn that chain of command of trust, because he's really the youngest.
Yeah.
The newest.
Last question. Alright, last question is, when Eren is going into his Titan form, is he unconscious or is he just fading in and out? Because there's some times where when Mikasa was being attacked by Titan, she's by herself, and he only recognizes her for an instant, and after that he starts going crazy.
I think he's so new at turning into a Titan, he can't fully control it throughout the beginning of the series, and it seems like towards the end, he gets a better grip on it. But even during the last episode between Eren and Annie, between that fight, at the very end of the fight, he starts to lose control. And I know for me, when I was recording that, I did a lot of like animalistic sounds, like almost like a gorilla as he's like pulling himself forward. And then I really tried to push my voice so hard that I lost control of my voice when he's like about to eat her body. I mean, so he goes in and out of it.
Cool question.
Awesome.
Batman?
Batman.
So, Attack on Titan Bridge. Have you?
No, haven't seen it, and probably won't because they stopped it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
They stopped it?
Yeah,
Actually-
Funimation, or not Funimation, but the original Japanese team
Oh.
weren't too fond of it, so they're like, nope, no more.
Cease and desist.
Mhm.
Well, I was at a convention and people kept asking me that question. Have you seen the abridged series? Have you seen it? And finally I'm just like, let's watch it. So on a panel, I watched Attack on Titan abridged. So yes, I have seen it and it is funny. Jaeger bombastic! Yeah, it's like a fan dub, but it's really silly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep working over and then we'll work back this way. So yes.
Can you guys do your best impersonation of a Titan? Oh. Titan scream.
Oh, God.
Wait, you want like the high-pitched one? Well, okay. Even though we scream like that, Lauren and I do scream like that in the show, they messed with our voices a lot. So I can't do that high-pitched banshee thing. I mean, what I was doing was like that kind of stuff. But also,
I have a session tomorrow, so I can't do that.
I was just gonna say, I
Pretty
work
brutal
next year.
on the voice. Like, I could not talk after that, but yeah. But, Bryce, you should tell them about how they used, what was it, the opposite of what they did in the Japanese for the Titan screams.
Sure. So I get the question, why are the Titan screams in English high-pitched and in Japanese deep? Well, that was a choice by Mike McFarland, and I think it was a good one. First off, the high-pitched sounds like a banshee. And for an American audience, I think that's more disturbing than something more human. Also, the footsteps hit the subwoofers really hard. And the deep scream they tried out, they were hitting at the same time. So he made them stand out, the screams stand out even more than the footsteps. They put it on the opposite end of the spectrum so they wouldn't conflict with each other. And I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
I had a blast doing the Titan screams, but if I were to scream, I would lose my voice. And I have a tiny bit of a headache right now. That would give me a migraine. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you improvise your archetype characters?
Doing what?
Your fair scene.
Favorite scene?
I'm always shouting things like, trust us, and
You probably
Look around you, Eren.
You wouldn't
Don't
hear
be
me
a
over other
pawn.
people.
I just want to kill everyone right now. Especially people in traffic. It's a constant thing for me. I hate traffic. Yes. Sorry, go 1 and then 2. Whoever
so
wants to go
this-
first.
Ladies first, here in the front, and then we'll get you, sir.
There we go.
Questions. One, Annie, are you okay?
I've never gotten that question before. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm in a crystal. I'm like Snow White.
Two, what would your characters in Attack on Titan cosplay as?
Huh. That's fun.
I don't know. There's something that like popped into my head, but this isn't an 18+ panel. I'm not trying to be bad. That's just I'm basing it off of Annie's personality. I don't know.
My brain is going like a mile a minute. Like, I don't know.
Cleaning Levi.
Ah!
Is what. There's nothing more attractive than a man that does housework.
True. It is appreciated. I don't know what you were talking
French
about.
maid's costume.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Cleaning Levi French maid version.
I'm gonna come back to that. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. It's a good question, though.
Eren would cosplay Derby Titan. Yes.
I know that the area that they're all in is relatively small to the scale of the world. So
Well, I mean, Bertholdt and Reiner talk about, you know, their homeland, and they tend to, you know, there's not a lot spoken about this, but they talk about coming from not within any of the walls. They come from a different area, so there's sort of a big question there as to what that is.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Lost, there could be another tribe. Who knows?
When I first saw this show, one of the theories that I had, and this was before I had seen the whole thing, I had this theory going in, like, I bet you anything, they're like, you know, because they've lived behind these walls, they have no idea that times have changed. So, like, outside the wall, things are more modern, but then I remembered that it was the year 845. It starts in 845, so that theory was squashed. But it would have been kind of cool, so.
So, like, the whole world is fine except for just this little group of
Yeah.
people. And Titans are only going that way.
Well, they are drawn to it. They are drawn to it, so.
They made that movie. It's called The Village.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
What a twist! We'll keep going this way. Any over here? Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? On Clinod? It was intense, man. I mean, that show, you know, that show, when we recorded that, it was not really this big thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, this is going to be something that impacts people at all. It really was, you know, we did our best, and I think all the actors in it were really good. It was just not something we thought would have this sort of fandom, you know? So it was intense because, you know, it was raw emotion and all kinds of, you know, his childhood with his father and just all that stuff. And in order to, you know, scenes where you're breaking down and sobbing, I mean, for me, you know, each actor does it differently. People get to places in different ways, but I had to really put myself in that situation, you know, because especially in front of a mic and you're asked to you know, have deep emotion, you can't fake it. I mean, I can't. Like, the mic picks it up, anything. If there's any amount of falsehood there, it's just gonna sound phoned in, you know? So, yeah, we had to go there. I mean, I had to go there. So it was intense. And it was, you know, even in the happy times of that, there was still this sort of longing and kind of sadness and depression. So it was, you had to kind of shake it off. You know, after long sessions, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go to like an amusement park now and, you know, eat cotton candy. I don't know. It was intense though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I have two questions. The first one is just for David.
Yeah.
For Harlock, how do you get into like the mode for Harlock? Because Harlock has such a like big personality of
Yeah.
and then you like discover like what was that experience like?
That was, so there are some times where the director for that, it was a hard thing to get into because he's so quiet, he's so brooding, and you don't know what he's thinking or what he's doing. And there's a certain like, and you know, I know it's a PG-13 panel, but there's a certain like sexuality to that guy, you know? He sort of oozes that a little bit, you know? I mean, the cape, the whole like first moment with the cape swings back and he walks away. So we did, the director sort of dressed up the studio. Like they put like black light in the studio. Like he went a little bit avant-garde with it, like something you wouldn't normally do. And we did a lot of takes in that. Just, you know, there has to be more sex there, more like just, you know, swinging, just walking through the room. Somebody who really, you know, knows what he is and believes in himself. So it was intense, but it was great. I mean, it's great. It's one of those characters that you like live to play. You know, he doesn't say very much the whole time, you know, but when he does, it's pretty poignant. So yeah, was that your question? What it was like to do that? Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I like that direction. Add more sex.
Yeah, it was. It's like, man, yeah, there was like words like you need to be dripping with it. I was like, okay, wow. Yeah.
Actually, really funny. This is the first time that David and I have done a con. We think it's like the first time. We're not sure, but I had completely forgotten that David had done the voice for Sanzo, and I love Sayuki. Sayuki was hilarious, and so after our voiceover panel on Friday, I was like, David, you were Sanzo. And then he mentioned Orphan. I'm like, are you joking me? Like, Orphan's like a classic. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I nerded out.
I'm like 700 years old.
All right, so we'll kind of work back now. So.
And if you've already done one, put your hand
We'll
down.
go here and then there.
Actually, wait,
Yes.
Coral, come to the front. You, come to the front. Come to the front. This gal has been working her butt off, taking care of the autograph lines. Can we give her a round of applause? The entire staff has been working their butts off, you guys. So
Doing great. This
yeah.
is their first time con, remember? So
Yeah, so thank
pretty
you guys
awesome.
so much. Sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut whoever was going to ask a question off.
Right there, yeah.
I'm ready for the voice for Henry the Fire Awakening. How was it like to do the puns?
The puns are hilarious. I don't think I actually said that many of them. Most of my lines were just efforts and like, yay, blood! Yeah, he's insane. But I've seen some of the puns and they're hilarious. They're all crow puns.
About crows?
Like caw.
Oh my gosh.
The word caw is in it. He's just this psycho. Just some psycho living in my head.
Okay, like you.
Who is next? Right here. Right here, yeah.
I just wanted to know why Eren loses every fight. Because he gets like really psyched up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill all these people, and then he needs to be saved by Mikasa and Levi.
Yeah, the theme of Attack on Titan is Eren, no. Eren,
No.
You're very passionate,
No.
but no.
No.
oh, Eren, no.
I think that is the reason, though, because what you were saying was, you know, he gets all fired up and all that. I think that's why, because he becomes blinded by his rage and by the passion that he wants, you know, to kill the Titans. So he loses control when he's in Titan form. And I think that's why, because that's when you go into your trance. That's when, Eren goes into his trance when he, I'll kill them all, all that. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why he...
It's that old theme of like the Master and the Jedi,
I was about to
it
say
really
that.
is.
It's
It's like,
Luke Skywalker
the young
before
Jedi
he gets his act together.
is learning, how to just be calm and wait, wait for the moment and control your emotions. I mean, it's sort of the Karate Kid too, Mr. Miyagi, dude.
We're talking the good Karate Kid.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
this everyone's cute. I
It's
love
cute.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I love Jackie Chan, but the original, is
Oh, for real.
well, yeah, okay.
Film of like
All right.
I know, right?
I have one more question.
Sure.
For those of you on the panel who have seen Attack on Titan Bridge, can you just say your favorite line?
Haven't seen it.
So it's just me?
It's just you.
You have to say 4 lines.
I'm not gonna curse because it's not 18 plus. I'll just say the letter. You sound like a majestic elfin eagle!
Who says that?
Shyness to Armin. Armin just like.
God, man, I gotta see this. How can I see it?
It makes me so happy when I hear Mike as Jean and you as Eren going at it. Like, it's so funny because we're all good friends. It's hilarious, especially in the tavern, whatever, in the camp that they have. Like, what was it? You're ruining my shirt. I don't give a damn about your shirt.
I love that scene.
Who was next? Yes.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Number 1, why is it that most of the population within the walls is German, and why did it take place during the migration period of Germany?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, I can tell you that Mike and the writers did a lot of research on the names, and that's why in the English the pronunciation of a lot of them
Is
are
correct.
Germanic.
Yes.
Yeah, is correct. Like Erwin. But who knows?
Yeah, that's a good question for the ages.
One more question. Why don't they just put all their resources into the expanding of firearms technology instead of running close quarters with the
Because they don't have they only have guns and cannons. That's all they have at this time. I think, like, I can't imagine what else they had during that time period, so.
They're all fans of Spider-Man.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, crossover now.
Yeah, crossover.
Yes.
Yes, you.
I have 2 questions for Bryce.
Okay.
One, I'd like to ask how the dubbing for Sword Art Online Season 2 is going so far.
It's not doing anything because I don't even know if I'm working on the show or not yet. And they don't tell us anything until it's like, hey, can you work on Monday?
Yeah, exactly.
And here's my theory. They know we talk for a living, so they think we're going to say something. Well, definitely. I mean, I know I would say something.
But that's how the industry works in general, too. It's like you audition for something and then you just get a call, hey, they need you at the studio tomorrow at 6. Can you know, it's like...
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm crossing my fingers that we work on it and hopefully sooner rather than later.
Also, could you do your best impression of the Armin scream?
Are you joking me? That's like that's just as bad as the Titan scream.
They usually save all the screaming to the end of sessions because it's brutal. It can be brutal.
I don't even know if I could scream like that.
Right?
I mean, the scream was ridiculous.
Josh is impressive.
Yeah.
He's an impressive.
He warms up for like
screaming
2 hours
guy.
before his session.
Does he really?
Yeah. He drinks like apple cider vinegar and warms up. You know?
He's nuts, man. Bryce and I had a what do you usually call it, Bryce? Your panel the thing last night?
No Sleep Saturdays.
No, the No Sleep Saturdays. Like, what I had said was, because that was one of the episodes that we watched, what I had pretty much said after that was that Josh's scream was so unbelievable that it was true and utter despair that you hear when he is screaming, you know. I mean, I would too if there was a Santa Claus Titan in my face, but, you know, but like, still, it's just, the scream was absolutely amazing. That when I first heard it, Josh was actually with me and we were watching it with Ian, and it made Ian Sinclair jump because it was just so like, oh, it's brutal like that. I can't even imagine if Josh could talk after that. That's a brutal scream. So I'm not gonna let you do it, Bryce.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid it. In my mind, a dub is successful when you get the same feeling from a certain scene or a certain line. And when I watched the show in Japanese, I got the chills when Armin screamed, and I got those same chills when I heard Josh scream. It was just incredible.
Yeah, way to go, Josh Greeley. You're the
Good
man.
job,
now.
Josh.
Yeah, yay, Josh.
In the back.
With
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I have a question on a theory that I have about the Titans.
Ooh.
Sure.
Do you think it is possible that the Titans are actually another colony, like experiment of trying to make super soldiers, but the ones that are unsuccessful failed, and the other ones like Andy are successful?
That's an awesome theory, and that's, yeah, I believe it.
I'd go for that.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes the most sense.
Let's move to the other side.
Sure, yeah. We'll start here.
Yeah, you mentioned Spider-Man earlier. And
Yeah.
I was just wondering, what interactions would you like to take place in the Marvel and Attack on Titan crossover?
Have you guys seen that?
I've heard that it's happening
Oh, yeah,
in
I've
comic
heard.
book form. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
Bizarre,
Marvel
right?
Titan crossover.
Female Titan against the Hulk. That'd be pretty awesome. I mean, obviously there's a height difference, but like, I think he could stand his ground. That'd be awesome.
I think the X-Men need to be involved.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want Wolverine, like, slicing Titan's necks.
Yeah.
There's so much potential there. I hope they really do something cool with it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Okay, we'll keep going. Yes.
I was just wondering what you guys think goes on during the services for the church that worships the wall, especially after the first wall fell.
Like, why do they still keep believing?
I actually,
A whole lot of Kool-Aid drinking is going on.
it's terrible because what
Cement mixing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to build.
Oh my God, build another one, Megan.
the hilarious part is that I think the creator was making fun of that because in the last episode, it starts off with, you know, the wall worshippers, and then female Titan just falls on the church, like in the middle of prayer. It's like, oh God!
Like, really?
Brutal.
You're still going at it?
What did we learn?
Okay, we're kind of short on time, so we can only take a few more questions. Okay, you look like you really want to ask a question.
There's a Danny Phantom Attack on Titan parody going on. Can you shout, "I'm going Titan"?
I'm going Titan.
Right, I'm going Titan.
As Eren,
Yes.
I'm going Titan!
Also, why can't you be a majestic stallion John over there?
Sean's a horse face! Yeah, right here in the front. Yeah, Deadpool.
If you could be in any one of the regiments, which one would you be in?
Scout Regiment.
The I don't want to die regiment.
Ditto. Yeah. I don't want to die either.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting about the show. It's so, like, everyone chooses their favorite character, but if you really put yourself into the world of that show, I don't think I have it in me to join the military. I don't think I have it in me to join our real military.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, maybe some of y'all do, and if you do, that's totally awesome.
That's
Yeah.
That's why whenever I see
that.
that's why whenever I see somebody in their uniform, I thank them for their services.
I cannot imagine the world of Attack on Titan being real, and that being my daily reality.
Yeah.
Either as a civilian, am I going to get squished today, or as someone who has made it now their life's duty to try and keep people from getting squished or eaten.
Squished is a great word, though. Squished.
Okay, one more question. Yeah, right there.
This is for Bryce. How do you think Henry would feel in the Attack on Titan universe?
He would be super stoked. Because he would just be like, yay, blood!
This is a disturbing person.
And there's lots of crows, actually, in Titan, so he would just be like, ah! Blood! Well, this was awesome.
Okay, so awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are they telling you to shut up?
Do we have time for one more?
No. Are you guys
Yeah, we
next?
have time for one more question.
They're
Okay.
next. The next people are already here, so
Boom, last one. So we don't miss them off.
For Bryce, what would your reaction be if you found out you were the spawn of Satan?
Wow.
You want Bryce Papenbrook's reaction? Yeah.
Wait, would I have the same powers as Rin?
Sure.
Because I would just be like this. I would take my sword and go, flame on, flame on, flame on.
That's a great thing to end on right there. Flame on, flame off, everybody. Flame on, flame off.
Thanks, guys. Yay! Thanks for coming to see us.
Thank you guys.
Awesome. I'm headed to a signing, so don't mob me because I really have to pee, and then I'm gonna go sign.
Caleb has a signing.